What's up, everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome back to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator, where today we're going to be playing Kevin Moranz's private backyard supercross track in MX Simulator by supercrosspig, which I believe is actually Christopher McPherson Jr. So apologies that I've done a track already of his, and I didn't associate the two names together, but we've seen McPherson racing in the Pro Series in the last couple of years, so I didn't really realize that he was putting cool tracks together, but shout out to him for putting this one together. And this is, in my opinion, just like a really cool kind of story that not many people may know about or may have heard about. I know that a lot of you that watch these videos may also watch rider vlogs, which may include Kevin Moranz, who's a professional motocross and supercross racer, primarily does supercross, but he dabbles into some of the pro motocross stuff here and there, and really has developed himself as in my opinion, kind of like a leading edge privateer when it comes to, how to attack the sport and how to get good at the sport and develop like a fan base and all that over the years to make a living out of the sport while not being under a factory tent. I think he does a very good job of proving that model does work. And the way that Moranz does that is, he has a YouTube channel where he does vlogs. He has what he calls the Moranz Mafia, which is like this group of Patreon supporters that help him get to the races. And then in turn, he puts them on his bike. Like, he puts their names on his motorcycle as, like, instead of, being supported by Monster Energy, he's supported by, John Smith and all these other people that, help his program along. And I think that is tremendous and a great way to approach the sport. And so for him to now have this track that he built this past year to ride is only going to obviously make him better at, getting prepared and ready to race professional supercross every year, but also, give his content and his viewers something that they can be like proud of, that they help support him get to. Because the reason why he built this track is he was eventually involved in the PulpMX Last Chance Qualifier Challenge, which, to briefly surmise that, was Steve Mathis at PulpMX came together with Yamaha Motor Corporation in the USA, and they did a raffle for anybody that wanted to sign up. And you spent $20 to get a ticket or $100 to get 10 or something like that to get raffle tickets, and you were entered in a drawing to win a new YZ450. And through that, they raised, I believe, over $100,000 this year. And then Steve was part of, in conjunction with Feld Motorsports, running a little race at the Salt Lake City Supercross finale the day before the final race of the year this year, where he basically gave almost all of that money back to privateers through this little program that he put together called the LCQ Challenge, which was everybody that went to the LCQ and finished, I think it was 5th on back in the LCQ, would be scored as like a main event. So if you finished 5th in the Last Chance Qualifier, which means you missed the main event, you earned a point total towards racing this event. And then 17 guys qualified, and he had 5 wild cards, which included Ryan Brees and Kyle Chisholm, who had not qualified for it, but Mathis included them because they were consistent privateer main event guys, and then lo and behold, they almost won the whole thing. But Moranz finished second in it, and with that, I think he got, I'm trying to remember the exact tally, but it was like $17,000 or $16,000 for finishing second in this one race, which of course is a considerable amount of money for anybody, but especially a privateer that's struggling along trying to support his racing program. And I remember I interviewed him after the race. I'll include the clip right in here.
So grab the start, grab the first to the finish, the first lap, and then from there is just complete focus mode and try to hit my marks because I knew who I had coming. I knew I was probably pretty safe with who I had behind me, but I knew Chiz and Breeze, those guys were going to come up from the back of the field. So I just started hitting my marks, had to figure out the track a little bit. It took me like 2 or 3 laps because the 450 press went and they didn't have time to fix everything. So I finally got this big section over here and then just kind of started losing it in the whoops a little bit, to be really honest. So that's going to be the biggest thing that we're going to build back home with this money is a supercross track right after supercross, which I'm pretty stoked about, and just start getting better for next year. But yeah, he got around me, Chiz got around me in the whoops. The next lap, Breeze got around me in the whoops, and then that was when the white flag came out, so I knew I just had to stick right behind him and hope for a mistake, and he ended up making a mistake, and I capitalized, and got second, which was huge.
But I interviewed him after the race, and he said like he was going to go back now that he has this money and build a supercross track, like build something that he can continue to work towards getting better at his career. And I thought that was really cool to hear. And now this is kind of like a weird full circle moment for me that I asked him that question. He gave me the answer of what he was going to do with the money. He went and built the track, and I'll include a link to his vlogs of actually having the Dirtworks track crew come out and build the track. And then, lo and behold, he has the track built. He's prepping for 2023 Supercross, and we get to ride the track in MX Simulator. So shout out to Christopher McPherson for putting this track together and, kind of doing this cool little thing to replicate another privateer Supercross track, because we've seen a couple of these come up over the years. We've seen a couple different guys that have these little kind of like lowbrow Supercross tracks. But the cool thing about Moranz was that he had the Dirtworks track crew, which is the track crew that builds all the Monster Energy Supercross tracks. He hired them to come out and actually build this track at his house. So, get like the real practice, I guess, in terms of how, the track crew that's going to build the Supercross tracks every week builds a track that's just going to be at this guy's house. So, good little tie-in for that. In terms of this build and the game, MX Simulator, really good job by McPherson, in my opinion, because he did a couple things that I don't think many people thinking about building this track would have done. And, first off, I think he did a pretty good job with like the surrounding area and looks. I don't, super watch Moranz's vlogs. I watch them from time to time. But from watching the build of this track, it seems like McPherson got the surrounding area pretty correct, which, I think a lot of people would just be like, I'm just going to build the test track on flat ground and move on and not put, much effort into the aesthetics around the track. But he got like the dirt, in my opinion, pretty spot on in terms of color, which is like this dark dirt color. Moranz is from Topeka, Kansas, and I believe that this track is in Kansas, but don't quote me on that. But if you watch the video, you'll see that he has like a pretty dark dirt pad that this track was built on. And two, another thing that he did was Moranz's pad that he put this Supercross track on is not 100% flat. The rhythm lane that I'm coming up to, not this little 2-3 out of the corner right here, 3-2 or whatever, the one after it, and then coming back down to the finish line jump, are slightly angled uphill. And I think Moranz used to have a track that like, this is like a whoop section going uphill or coming back down the hill or something like that. But then when they rebuilt it, they had it this way. And if you notice, if you like ride next to the track, that McPherson put that little slight incline on the track, which I think is, just a little small attention to detail that not many people would have done, but he did. And because of that, it makes a pretty realistic rendition here of Moranz's Supercross track. So kudos to him for, the build. I think it's a pretty solid build. I think it's a fun track to kind of practice and train on. It definitely gives you, in terms of like trying to get good at MX Simulator and maybe get prepared for the 2023 Supercross season in the game. It's a little nice like training area to, test some things out, try some different stuff, like switch up rhythm lines right here, go over the table, then triple, and then on the gas to quad in the corner, like just trying a couple different things like that. Just a good build and just a good little fun track that, you can put the time in and feel like you're getting ready for Supercross just like Kevin Moranz is. So really, really awesome job from McPherson, and cool to see Moranz's track built in the game here. Last little bit of the video I'm going to talk about here is, honestly, straight up, I feel like I'm getting slowly better at this game again. Now, the middle part of this video would not suggest that because I crashed way, way too many times. But somehow, some way, the skills that I felt like I had in this game back in 2015 to 17 or so, my last few years racing professionally, are coming back to me. I don't know if it's just playing a little bit more, or if I just starting to like remember how things clicked, or maybe I got a setup that works. I really don't know. But somehow, some way, I'm starting to feel a little bit better at this game, and it's leading me to think I may just give a little bit of a thought again at racing again. I don't know what form or how or whatever. Obviously, I still stream all of the professional races to a degree, but it's given me a little bit of an itch because I feel like I can still feel the talent level in there. The last time I raced a professional MX Simulator race was 2017, I think it was, when I raced, I believe it was an outdoor race was my last one. I got to look back in the annals there and figure it out, but it's been over a decade now since I made my professional debut in the game. And another thing that's bummed me out a little bit of late, aside from my talent level being diminished so much, is that starting to come across people that really genuinely did not know I ever raced professionally in the game and just thought I was a streamer and a content creator. I definitely was not that. I was a professional gamer, I guess, before I ever did any of those things, and slowly turned from gamer to streamer to content creator and all that stuff. But my first love with this game was racing in the professional scene and trying to get good enough to compete, and eventually did win a couple. So trying to maybe scratch the itch a little bit. Maybe going to try to make a pseudo comeback just a little bit to see where my talent still lies. Might just be in the amateur class just to have some fun. Not try to win or anything like that. Just go out there and have a good time and see where we stack up. So if you're interested in that, if you want to see me do some racing, tell me, what you think I should do. Should I do AM? Should I maybe try to get my pro license and finagle my way back in to that, or should I race EU so that I can make sure I can race and stream, or what? I don't know, but I'm feeling the itch a little bit, feeling like I want to still try to be competitive at this game every now and again, and who knows, maybe we'll see the old 152 back out on the track at some point. But that's all for this video here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this walk around the Kevin Moranz backyard private SX track by supercrosspig, aka Christopher McPherson Jr. Download link to the track will be included in the description below if you guys have any more comments or questions. Happy to answer those for you guys as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this wonderful second to last week of November as we get closer and closer to that 2023 Supercross season, get more and more excited for it as well. So thanks guys for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and as always, get involved in the comment section below. Like the video if you enjoyed your experience here today, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.